Let's begin our discussion of the Camera Raw plugin by looking at Camera Raw preferences, setting it up to make it work for you. I am in Photoshop. You don't have to start here, but we will. And go to Bridge. Click the button right there. In the Bridge, if you're on a Mac, go to Adobe Bridge CS5 and go down to Camera Raw Preferences. If you're using a Windows system, go to Edit, do the same thing. Let's look at these settings. Save image settings in Sidecar or Camera Raw database. Depends on what you're doing with the images. If you move them a lot and you want somebody to see your raw file with the adjustments that you made to it, you have to be able to give them those adjustments. That's what a sidecar is. It's like the sidecar on a motorcycle. I actually used to have one of those. The sidecar is a separate file that's named the same thing as the original. So if you've got a raw file that's got a name of Sunset, then the sidecar will be Sunset XMP. Your responsibility, if you're doing it manually, would be to move that file along with the raw file so that when somebody opens it, they can see what you saw. You're balancing your white point, things like that. If you're moving these things through the bridge, that'll happen automatically though. Camera Raw database, you're not moving your files. They always stay in one place. All the ways that they're changed are in one area. Up to you. I use a sidecar because I move them a lot. Allow sharpening to all images or preview. Now this is one that I changed. Incidentally, these are the defaults. Preview image only. Why? I want to leave my original intact. I'll decide if it needs sharpening. I don't like using that one. I use this one. Preview images only. Apply auto tone adjustments if selected. When you open up your image, will actually automatically auto tone the image. Again, I'd rather do that myself. I don't need any help here. Apply auto grayscale mix. You've got a color image. It's a raw image. You want to convert it into grayscale. This does the mixing for you using its algorithm to convert color to grayscale. Actually, it's very good. I would say you could leave that one on. Make default specific to camera serial number. All cameras have a serial number that's recorded when you save the file. You can actually have your settings specific to that camera. So you've got a Canon and a Nikon and an Epson, whatever, specific to a camera serial number. If you've got that, you can turn that on. I shoot all Nikon, so I'm not really too worried about that one. ISO, make default specific to ISO. ISO stands for International Standards. Basically, it used to be ASA, American Standards, but they went international. It's the speed of the film. It's how fast the film and how sensitive it is to light. My D3 shoots are, I think, around 100 to 1600 or something like that. 100 is very fine grained, but you need a lot of light to shoot the photograph. 1600, you can shoot in low light, but it's grainier. You can actually have settings specific to an ISO, for example, on high ISO images to get rid of the noise. And it could be specific to a particular ISO. That's nice. Camera Raw cache. There are really two caches. There's one for the bridge and there's one for Camera Raw. Both of them are designed to help process images faster when they're in use. So your maximum size here is 1 gig. That's actually pretty healthy. You can increase that number if you constantly work on larger images. You can select a location if you want to. The default is fine with me, but you could change that on where this information is stored. And if you think you've got a problem or you just want to get rid of some stuff, you can purge it. Now, purging doesn't really hurt anything. It's not erasing. It just will slow you down a little bit more until the cache gets built up again. DNG is for file handling on digital negatives. That's what DNG stands for. All of the images that are raw are proprietary. Proprietary files like Nikon and Canon, they have their own kind of raw format that Adobe has to find, digest, and put into the plugin. If you save your files as DNGs, you can actually override that proprietary part and still have a file that's got all the raw settings. If you want to, ignore the sidecar when you're saving them, and we'll actually have a segment on this toward the end on how you do this. If you save them as DNGs, you can say ignore that information, leave the file intact. Or you can update the embedded JPEG previews. I usually change this one and I put it to full size. I'm typically working on images in the gigabyte range. A couple of extra meg for a full-size preview is not going to hurt me. That means when I get into programs like InDesign, you have your image in the InDesign layout. You're not really seeing the high-res one. You're seeing what's called an FPO for placement only. I want to see good quality ones. I use full size. The two final options for JPEG and TIFF, a relatively new feature to Camera Raw is its ability for us to process even JPEGs and TIFFs, non-raw images. To what end? There are features in the RAW plugin that give you a lot of control over color information and white point that would be difficult to achieve directly in Photoshop. You have the ability to automatically open with settings, disable, or open all supported JPEGs. The same is true of the TIFF. Most of the settings as you see them are what I use, except I do ignore the sidecar because I don't want it to change the image. If I'm going to a DNG, I'll worry about that when I get it over into that format. What you're doing here, though, is you're setting it up for you. Put the settings together that make Camera Raw work for you and not for me.